Bursting blues with a laugh in my eye. Shades of wonder got me on a high. We spin stories in purple and gold. Girls got colors nobody can hold. We mix it up, we make it new. Splashy and bold, that's how we do. Running on fun, we won't slow down. Paint the town, turn it upside down. Rush out, my favorite traffic jam. Color like a fool, yeah, you know who I am. Dreams on the canvas, magic in my head. Dreaming out loud, I don't care where I live. Like a fool, splashing wild, breaking the rules. Like a fool, like a fool, like a fool. Every line, every you. Welcome to the dream team, the brush out crew.
All right, Krista, what you got for us?
I'm so glad you're here, Mike. This is something Mike's been playing spooky games for October in onesies, costumes, and so Dreaming Tabitha actually drew a little picture of something that happened on a stream.
I have not seen this. I have no idea what she's about to show.
All right, so in Mike's chat, there was a chat that read, "Only a loser plays horror games on normal," because he was trying to decide what should I play on, normal, hard, nightmare.
This is Outlast. This is Outlast for people that know.
Cake on the floor.
Look at the cake on the floor, and he's missing his feet.
That's cool.
That's so good.
They're bandaged. What are we doing?
And Mike was like, you know what? I'm not scared. I'm a man.
This is awesome, by the way,
dude,
Krista.
this is awesome.
Yeah.
But this actually happened, and I was like, oh no. They were like, oh, only pussies play this on normal. So I turned it up to nightmare, and within like 30 minutes, I was like, I got to turn the difficulty down. I can't do this.
Damn.
I had people text me. They're like, do not try this on nightmare. You will not make it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. But she put me in a closet. That's not what my closet looks like. She is a very talented artist, legit. Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep.
Mike sitting there with the cake, and when he had no shoes on.
That's
Is
crazy.
that right?
No, I didn't have any
No
feet.
feet, no feet.
No
Because
feet.
he
Jump like I
has
got cut off.
diabetes.
He had diabetes.
Diabetes. He has no feet.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's not a request.
Good morning, good morning. Happy brush hour, happy Tuesday. I know it's a really long intro there. I started having a coughing fit right when I was gonna go into it, and I was like, well, let me just play one more video one more time. How is everybody doing? Let me know. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? Is it coming through? Okie day. Anywho, good morning. Like, we're going to try to just get started right out the gate with brush hour. Like, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Become part of the Patreon. Become a member. Like, buy some merch. Check out the shop. All the good stuff, because I want to get to, I know you got to do like shameless plugs and whatever like that, self-promotion, but sometimes you just want to get to the drawing part. But I am wearing For the Science. Let me plug that really quickly. The For the Science tank there, but we also have the shirt available. And what was really cool was a lot of you were asking about Christmas ornaments yesterday. That kind of shocked me. Maybe slapping some Canadian bear chibis and some of my other chibis on some Christmas ornaments. We'll see about that. I can make no promises, but excuse me, here we are. We'll see how it goes. Let's get to the chat. Good morning, DL, throwing everything but the kitchen sink. Maybe I should just make a kitchen sink emote, but then I would have to change what I say to everything and the kitchen sink. I don't know. I feel like I need to make a kitchen sink emote in honor of DL. And Real Steven TV saying good morning. One second. That just needed to come out. Good morning, Tabitha and the kitchen sink. See, DL is henceforth known as the kitchen sink. I tried to do it one day without all the emojis, but she called me out. Well, I don't want to look at it as calling you out per se, as I just wanted to recognize your dedication. But if you feel like that's calling you out, then I'll just. But how does it feel knowing that going through the rest of your life, you'll be known as the guy for everything but the kitchen sink? Maybe we'll just have to make a kitchen sink emote just for DL. But hey, Spicy Regatta, you'll be getting something in the mail soon. You totally understand. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Like a fool, like a fool. Oh, somebody says, man, the way I'm feeling, I think I'm gonna need some caffeine. I feel ya. You just had your elixir. I've got my elixir over here as well. Spider Unlimited is in the house. So is Icanalus. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I kind of cut it off when I get to Krista saying, I'm a man. Just because I wanted to make sure I snagged the other videos. And then Spicy Rugetta throwing out the 5 right away, saying the reason I like a fool is because I have had many gamers that acted like fools over the years. So I can relate. We all can be a little bit like a fool from time to time.
Today is Friday. Today is Friday.
So just for your entertainment pleasure, Rogetta has now claimed that today it is Friday, at least for the Brush Hour segment. You're welcome. Your weekend starts early. Mountain Mutt, hello, hello. Okay, Tabitha, what is your hot take on the Rings of Power series? DL, oh, I was trying to remember. We coming in. I was trying to remember what my hot take was supposed to be for today because, of course, I have lots of them. But I knew that there was one that was very specific, and I couldn't remember what it was. So thanks for reminding me. Well, we'll get to that in a second. It's for the science. Mando says, "Oh, brush hour. I love it. I love it." Chaz says, "Good morning." Good morning to you. And then there's Larry Knight saying Tabitha time. I always feel like that's such a cool thing to say because it reminds me of Fantastic Four and clobbering time, but instead it's Tabitha time. You know, I've never really been the girl to do this, right? Like a lot of girls do this. Like, and I'm not sure why this makes you look like sweet and cute. I don't know where this originates from. Sleeping, maybe? I'm not really sure, but like girls do that, right? Like, check me. And I'm not really sure why this is like a feminine thing. I'm not sure where this originates from, but I'm doing it now because I'm on the internet and you gotta appear, cute for the masses. So yeah, whatever that is. Vanilla. That's right. Fantastic, sarcastic. Well, because I have so many Hispanic friends, and I grew up in a Hispanic country, and which that kind of feels like wrong to say because the country of origin, it wasn't originally Hispanic until the conquistadors, come over and slaughtered everybody and made it their own. So that's what that is, but that might be another spicy take for a different day. But I remember asking Lily, 300 Mirrors, and Nomi, without you, since I am so like Hispanic adjacent is what I was calling myself, between Sevi and Joe and Lily and Nomi and everybody else in my life. Could I have a Hispanic nickname since I'm Hispanic adjacent? And I forget what they called me, but it had something to do with vanilla. We might need to revisit that conversation. I want a really cool, like Hispanic nickname because I am Hispanic adjacent, especially at this point, but actually my entire life. So DL with the 199 says, I think it would be funny to have a kitchen sink. So they're going to try to take these. I think that would be funny too. We'll see what we can do on that end. Yes, vanilla is very versatile. Please never do that again. Yeah, I feel like I'm just a little too old to be like, this feels very much like a 16-year-old thing to do. I think after 21, we don't do this anymore. We go, it's just the aggression comes in. Anyway, La Gringa. I don't want to be La Gringa. I want something fun. I feel like vanilla, something with vanilla. I don't know. I got to revisit it. If not, I got to do my own research, and because I can't rely on. No, I did it again. I did just for you, Mountain Mutt. I really do. What is this? Like, it helps frame the fate. I don't know. It's like reverse angel wings. I don't know. Anyway, brush hour. Let's get into it. And then we'll go into Hot Take Tuesday. If you guys have hot takes, please feel free to drop them and we'll discuss them. Speaking of hot takes, it's Justin Proper. Good morning. Justin, what is your hot take on girls doing this, especially when they're past the age of 21 or in their 30s? Like, what do you think? What's, what do we feel about this when girls do this? Let's discuss it. I don't want to be, see, that's just too on the nose. I don't want to be Miss White. There's more to me than just my whiteness. Okay. And besides, I want to claim that whole 1%. I have Native American in me, for those that don't know. So I'm not just white. Okay. I'm not just white. If you were to see my grandfather, you would know. You'll always be a teenager in our hearts. I would just like to be 27 for like maybe the next 10 years. 27. That would be good. Can we just go to 27? He goes, El vanilla. Is that a real word? I want it to be like a real word. La vanilla artista. As long as you pronounce vanilla in Spanish. I'm not sure that I'm saying vanilla correctly in Spanish. It's not my language. I'm not even sure what vanilla is in German. Oh, that's not good. Maybe it's just vanilla. Tabitha Fighting Spirit. Is that my Indian name? It's childish. I really disavow that stupid duck face women do, especially as adult. Okay, I didn't do a duck face. Well, calm down, Justin. I didn't do a duck face. I don't do the duck faces either. I've always felt very self-conscious. I've thought about it because it does kind of make you look younger, like when you're taking pictures. Just like, but then I'm like, even just now, I feel so seen and gross. I don't know. I know people do that when they, I'll do it if I'm being silly, but I'm not going to do it if I'm like, if I meet up when we go to these meetups and stuff like that, and you want to be silly, like the stupid, let's recall our childhood kind of things where you're just like, but I would never take a serious picture and pose like that. I don't know. It does. It feels kind of gross. But yeah. I know. I am. I'm not. You're not there. I haven't been 13 in a long time. Spicy Regetta, do you have a hot take on the new Frankenstein Netflix movie, Tabitha? Or Now You See Me 3? Regetta, we just Vanilla. Well, I inferred it, and there you go. You said it. Okay, that's how it works on the internet. Do I have a hot take on the spicy on the new Frankenstein Netflix movie? I don't think I have a hot take. I enjoyed the film. I can't say there's anything that's like controversial about it. Well, maybe this will be where the controversialness is, where it's like, for a movie that's rated R for gore, I didn't think it was gory. As I was saying last night to the chat, and Canalys was kind of chuckling, I assume, where I described it as a whimsical gore. Like, I could watch it after like the first 2 instances where they had body parts that were like exposed flesh and stuff like that, and I saw the style with which they were going. I was like, oh, I'm going to be fine. It was kind of like watching Expendables. When you realize that it's like over the top, not realistic, and very CGI, you're like, oh, I'll be fine. Which I find is so fascinating because I don't do gore. I don't like any of that stuff. And I remember going to the movie theater surprisingly with my mom and my brother for Expendables, and sitting there, and my brother, who can handle that stuff a lot better, was like, yeah, it was a little much for me. And I'm like, what? I was so they're going to try to take these Regetta, I don't know if you want to have another top 5, so how about just a little Jesus in your heart?
I am the one to be your favorite.
For that number 5 that you gave again. Remember, Jesus doesn't have any favorites, but there are people that he thinks are more special than others. So vanilla, yeah, it's got a German accent to it, and I'm not really sure, because the E in German is pronounced, if it's at the end of a word, it's pronounced like a soft A. Okay, Duck face is still a thing. I think with the youngins, it's with the youngins or with the oldens who think they're still youngins, which is not me. Yes, like and share the stream. All right. Was there anything else? Anything else? No. Okay. So we yesterday drew our little sad I'm over it. Like this is the face that Justin makes when I make the duck face. This is the face that I make when Mountain Mutt sees me, do the so so we got some good practice yesterday trying to figure things out. Surprisingly, the best part about this practice session was the hood and me figuring out oh, wait a minute, I don't need too much in the back area here because of the fact that he is a little bit more of a frontal profile, if you will, or a frontal view, I should say. Versus when you have it like from the side over here, there should be a little bit more space because it's hanging in the back, right? It's just kind of like my hair. Obviously, if I'm in the side here, you can see more of my little poof versus when I'm like this, there's just a slight bump there. Tabitha hates me only with the love of the Lord, Mountain Mutt. Only with the love. So today, if you saw the title, it's going to be Bear Gets Scared. So going down here, we did our little cricket face here. And part of the story is that he's going to be going after this cricket. And the next creature, which maybe we'll get to today, we're going to go do it, create a new one. It's 10 by 10 inches. Gives us an allowance of 112. I like to put these in order already. Here we go. And then maybe one stream we'll go ahead and try coloring because as you guys, I was telling you before, I was practicing like different art styles with like this chalkiness. And I really, really like the way that this looks. But then after I did the coloring for this scene, I really loved the style because it reminded me of those good old fashioned 1980s cartoons. And so I'm thinking about doing a study on the Black Cauldron and incorporating that into the style. So I'd like to do a mismatch of the original Winnie the Pooh versus, or rather meets the Black Cauldron. I'm not sure why I decided to pick the Black Cauldron because I've never seen it before, but a lot of the movies back in the 80s were pretty similar, but I really like that style. So we're going to go with it. So anyway, today, let me make sure we got this. So essentially, this will be super easy for the brush shower right here. Okay. Oh no, what's happening? All right, 1 second. I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. Somehow I've been having some issues here. It's nothing terrible, but I think. Yeah, I think my Apple Pencil got disconnected. And the dumb thing, I mean, I don't know if it's dumb. It was weird because here we go. The other Apple Pencils, the other generations, they connect via Bluetooth. Whereas this one does not. You have to plug it in. And it connects almost immediately, like it just did right now. But it's a little bit irritating. Like if you're out and about in the world and you're wanting to draw and maybe you didn't bring your charger with you because you're like, oh, I'm just going to go do whatever, this, that, and the third. It's like, well, you have to always make sure you carry a cord because this could suddenly disconnect for no apparent reason. Patrick McCartney, hello. How about Tabarietta? Spanish. I think it's too hard for me to say. I thought I had the monopoly on Tabitha hate. You wish. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you wait till you see it in its full glory. I'll probably post it over there on X and stuff like that for the science. All right. So this is going to be super quick because later on I'm going to take more time for lettering and whatever. But what's going to happen is going to be this like obnoxious. Oh, that's the wrong pen. Get it together, Tabitha. Hang on. All right. Make this large here. So this is just to help me know like what the scene is going to be. All right. So then I'll duplicate this just now. And then we'll go here Obviously, you can take a guess as to what the next creature is going to be. And then I'm actually going to go here, go here. I already have, fortunately for Tabitha, I already have a face for the moment that I'm going to do this, which was kind of unplanned. So this is super cool. Hey, where'd he go? What the freak, Cooper? Oh, man. Is my iPad being stupid? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, my gosh. That scared me. I thought I'd gotten rid of all of my drawings. That scared me. For some reason, it copied, though, and put it into its own little layer, which is stupid. We're learning things. We're learning things. Sorry, guys, for the slight hiccup here. This never happened before, so we're always learning. All right, so we'll try this again. I'm going to drag it down. Maybe go a little slower this time. I'm going to go over to this square and put this in here. Ta-da! Now we're doing better. JM the Elite Fan. Hello, hello. Patrick Marty says, he's over there in deep thought. Deep thought. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of all the excess here. Oh, that was payback for making a face. Am I doing okay? I'm better now. I'm doing better. Thank you for asking. Was having a slight hiccup, but I have a freaked out face. Oh, freak out. And so I think it'd be kind of fun to have the freak out face like take up a big portion of the page. How often do I have scares like that when I'm drawing digitally? Not often, but sometimes. That's the first time that's ever happened. So it did have me in a little bit of a panic because I thought I'd just somehow gotten rid of all of the sketches that I just did. Fortunately, I did have another copy. I tend to do that because this automatically saves. However, when you're in the graphic arts department or any kind of computer stuff, as my college teacher once said, the motto is save and save often. So since this automatically saves, I don't have to worry about that. However, I've kind of switched it up now to save and duplicate often. So, yes, I know. I have to. I spilled my coffee last night. Thanks for reminding me. Fantastic. You're the MVP here. I wonder if having it kind of like this. Let's have a look. I'm going to go back now to the main menu here and just kind of see. It's like a lot of up close moments here. And then I think I'll have a further away one. So I don't think I kind of want that to be like, in your face. So I think this will be the good thing to go with. So we're going to go like this, create ourselves a new layer and already just sketch around this. It's hard to see with the microphone here. And then we're going to save ourselves time, which is what's really cool about digital artwork. I'm going to get the drawing guide, edit the drawing guide, go to symmetry tool. And now I have to switch that up because I want it to. All right. Does that look? That looks about right. Okay. So that way, when I draw everything, if you can see that I do on one side, it will show up on the other. All right, so here we go. Let's get the party started. And then I have to save the mouth for later because, I think I did that on purpose. Maybe we'll do the eyes separately, excuse me. So we'll do the nose. I don't like that shape. It's a little bit squared. Yeah, something like that. And it looks like I did the eye slightly bigger. I'm going to assume on purpose because it's kind of when you go, so let's get the eyebrows. And then we'll do the head here. Moment of silence for the artist, please. But be sure to hit the like. Thank you so much for being a part of the brush hour. Oh, no, we don't want a cleft chin. Ew. I mean, if you have a cleft chin, it's okay, but I don't want my baby character to have a cleft chin. I think that only looks good on some people. That sounds really terrible. Jesus makes no mistakes. It's never been. Some gals love them. Whoops, the cleft chin. And it does have a manly something about it. And there are lots of women that have it too, and they're fine. But it's just never been my thing. Okay, so that's enough of everything that has to be done with the symmetry. So we're turning off that, and we're just gonna draw this again, but this time, and I think I'll just duplicate the eyes so that way they're the same shape. I've got lots of stuff I need to accomplish today, so that's why I wanted to try to make sure we got the drawings out, you know. Useless facts. The cleft chin is dominant trait. What does that mean? What do you mean? Moss, you have a cleft chin? You have a butt chin? I'll tell you what, actually, work smarter, not harder. We're going to draw. By the way, we're going to be doing our Golf with Friends championship tournament thing tonight. It's not really the championship. We're just going to be playing. We should maybe if nobody has plans for New Year's, we should have a golf tournament championship and play for high stakes of some kind. Because we all know how well that goes for Tabitha. But I lose every time, at least against Nomi. Well, no, every time because I lost against Maria too. I don't know why. I'm not bad at the game. But anyway, I guess we could go ahead and do the eye here. I think that would be fun though. I don't like this shape. It means if one of the parents has a cleft chin, the children would have it. Oh, okay. That's not necessarily true. So I have a friend who his parents, like his dad had the cleft chin, right? And they had 7 kids. Well, are you saying like you don't want, like you mean like not all the children, right? You don't mean all the children, right? Because not all the kids had cleft chins. I want to say, and I guess it depends on how deep, right? 2 of the kids have a pretty significant. One was a boy, one was a girl. Jacob and Leah, they have really serious cleft chins, right? Like their father. And then I want to say one of the girls has like a softer one. Like it's not really indented there, but there's just a slight curvature here, and then the rest are without. So most of the time, okay. I don't know the science about cleft chins. Maria hustled you into a false sense of she did. I blame Maria. You're gonna have to talk to Sevi. Fantastic. She's the one in charge. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes because Sevi's in charge. I have to run an errand, but if not back before you end, I want you to have one. Thank you, Stephen TV. I hope you have a real great, fantastic day. Moss hides it under his beard. Are you afraid to assert your dominance, Mouse? Is that what's happening? Okay, so we're going to take this eye, we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to grab it, flip it, rotate it, and then just enlarge it. Well, oh, hang on. I think I messed up somewhere. No, it's meant to be enlarged. But I might be missing something here. This one's like really turned in. Does that look okay? Let's get rid of the thing in the background. I think technically, well, it looks about this. It looks like it's the same size. I think technically it wouldn't work like that, right? It would just be that this part is higher up. So I think that that's... All right, let's just undo. Let's see. No. Okay, so there's that. And we're just going to get rid of this line here. And we're just going to put it up higher. Let's see what this looks like. And then get rid of this. Yeah, I think that will look better. Sevi makes me play games. Well, see, so then Sevi's the person that you need to talk to. Sevi's the one and only. I had a dream. I had a dream about Sevi. I need to message her. I was going to email her, not email. I was going to text her about something, about that something I had said yesterday, and I wanted to be like, "Is this all right?" And then I freaking had a dream about it, and it felt so real. It felt very real. I need to message her. She's gonna laugh. Oh my gosh! That's what she says when she Googles. All right, let's get the hair correct here. That's an interesting thing too about like drawing the little chibis with their little sideburns or whatever. Like as if you wanted to create a younger looking character, you don't want to do it with sideburns. Like you have to be careful how you do the sideburns because like babies will have like the little wispy things. But if you make it too thick, it looks more adult because babies don't have as much hair. So it's again a very interesting study. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and make another layer so we can do the mouth here. I don't want to make him look like a vampire, but you know, we do have our incisors. Oh, what was the dream about? I can't tell you until I talk to Sevi about it. Them's the rules. Sorry. Just have to make sure she's okay with something I said. I'm sure she'll be fine, but you want to be respectful. Okay, I don't want to, maybe these are not the teeth we're looking for. There we go. Let's try this. I don't even know if teeth are the right way to go because again, it's kind of like, that is okay. I had a nightmare last night where I fell into a pit of venomous vipers, woke me right up. DL, are you going through a life change right now that you feel is out of your control? Because that's usually what snakes symbolize. I wonder if teeth are the right way to go because again, it's meant to look, more childish. So maybe I should do a tongue instead and just the top teeth. I either have very vivid dreams or none at all. Oh yeah, my dreams are very like. All right. We'll see what it looks like with coloring, but we'll see what it looks like with coloring. We'll start off with that. It gets the point across. Although I will say that I think to me there seems to be a lack of babiness here somewhere. Something about this looks a little too. Let me get rid of this line too. I'm going to get rid of the pupils because I think the placement of the pupils is obviously very important as we were learning yesterday. Something about this doesn't read quite as cutesy as the other ones. I had another one of my reoccurring dreams last night. Woke me up right away. Yeah, I used to have those as a kid. I don't know what they mean. And one day I would love to have that analyzed, maybe professionally. Okay. Okay. Something is wrong. Something wrong here. We're going to group this, duplicate it, and then flatten this. And then we're going to liquefy just to see, just to see. Actually, let me try this first. Oops. Hang on. Let's get rid of that. And there we go. I wonder if that was the thing. Like the face isn't enough. And I do kind of wonder about this chin decision here. Hang on. Let's go back to my guide, my field guide over here. This image here. I have a couple of other faces that are looking straight on, and I really like the way that they're shaped. I think maybe I messed up somewhere, maybe. Because, yeah, I mean, he's not quite as cutesy-oodle as... But it could be because I don't have all the details. So, hot take. The Neverending Story was so awful. It's the only 80s movie that deserves a remake. Justin. Let me think about this. You think it's awful. Why do you think it's awful? Now, I think it's awful because we thought that this was appropriate for children. I have the scars of the Neverending Story. The book was better. But I did ask for hot takes. So I'm curious to know what made it awful, just overall. Now, I remember being uncomfortable with this movie. Many of the like fantasy sci-fi movies of the 80s made me feel very uncomfortable. It's called Liminal Space, I believe. That's why Escape the Backrooms is so discomforting, because it works with that idea of liminal space. And so like when Atreyu goes to the Oracle or whatever it is, like basically it looks like the two cherubims or sphinxes or something like that out in the middle of a planet on a desert or something like that, on a desert, on a planet somewhere where there's like no sky and all this stuff. I didn't like that. Like that made me, even as a child, made me very, very uncomfortable. That movie was very spooky, but I thought it was well made. I mean, if I haven't seen it in a long time because I don't want to. Like, I don't ever want to relive that horse scene, even though I know Artax makes it. Okay. Even though I know Artax makes it. That's a diabolical scene. I feel like if they would remake it, the charm and the nuances of that film would just be lost because everything would be CGI. And that was the brilliance of the movie. But I don't know 100%. 100%. And I didn't understand what I was watching. All I know is that I was sad and I was uncomfortable. But I'm just curious to know. My hot take, habanero. Jalapeno over habanero any day. Nagrinol, what is up? Nagrinol. Hope you are doing well, sir. The Neverending Story, I loved that movie even when I was a kid. Losing the horse was upsetting, but it gave a sense of hope. You know, the swamps of sadness. No, between the swamps of sadness, I didn't like the turtle. He was really creepy. I didn't like the little goblin gnome people where Falcor was at. I loved Falcor, obviously. And I will even say the childlike empress, when she just kind of stares into the thing. Bastion, say my name. I don't know. It's just something weird about it. I'm not saying it's my favorite movie, but I think it was well made. I don't know. I don't know. Still never seen Neverending Story or Princess Bride. Princess Bride. I'm a bad child of the 80s. Well, see, I'm not a child of the 80s, so it doesn't matter. Okay. You want my hot take? Princess Bride is overrated. Scandalous. Justin says the main character is annoying. Notice how I was like, Justin says the main character is annoying. Falcor is nightmare fuel. Atreyu's actor fell off the horse before shooting and had to get over $1 million worth of back surgeries. Okay, well, that part doesn't have anything to do with the actual movie itself. Okay, that last part. So we're just not even going to pretend like Justin typed that out. But Falcor's awesome. So forgive me if I don't feel bad about the horses dying. What? What? So they're going to try to take these.
The thing is to keep smiling and never look as if you disapprove.
Okay, you can be all right. Okay, all right. I feel bad about the horse dying. Just because the actor might be stupid doesn't mean that the horse deserved to die. Maria, what's up? What's up? Yeah, I didn't like them. I didn't like them. The turtle sneezing and throwing a tray off the tree after you already had several back injuries makes it more infuriating to watch. Well, see, no, okay, but you're looking at it from the behind the scenes aspect. I mean, Orlando Bloom fell out of a building and had to have back surgeries, and he was doing all these other things. So that doesn't have any bearing or effect on the movie itself as far as the production value and the whatever. I will say that A Never Ending Story is not one of my favorites. I thought it was well made, but it's not like it was like I don't care to ever see it again. Interesting. Irish Jedi says heresy. For which one? The Princess Bride and Conceive. There's a lot of great quotes from The Princess Bride, but I didn't really find it that funny. And I don't care about The Princess Bride. I know in my family, it's a big staple, but I'm like that one person. It's just like me not liking cheese. I'm the one person who's left-handed. I don't like cheese, and I don't care if I ever see The Princess Bride ever again. Moonchild is his mom's name. Really? Moonchild? Okay. Okay. Justin, have you met children today? We literally have children out here named like Princess and Your Majesty. Okay. So, just saying. Okay, to be fair, Bastian's name was Bastian Balthazar Bucks. So, there's that. All Bastian had to do was name the child like Empress. That's it. And he kept waiting for no reason. This is true. I mean, that's true. Like I said, I haven't gone back and analyzed it as an adult. But I equally despise those names. Well, you know what, Justin? Proper's a stupid name too. Just kidding. It's not. I don't know if that's your real last name, but if it is, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Bastian. It's not even Sebastian. It's just Bastian. Bastian Balthazar Bucks. Like I said, I think the book was better. It's not my favorite book, but the book was definitely. I don't like, Patrick comes in with, I don't like all of the Planet of the Apes movies. Okay, my hot take is that I really liked the one with Mark Wahlberg. Stick that in your hat and call it a bob. Good morning, Phil. Hello, hello. What is my hot take on Rings of Power? That it was made. What was it I was saying specifically before Kick cut me off last night? Rings of Power. Oh. My hot take. Okay. All right. Bring it in, everybody. Hang on. I got yelled at and told that I should stop being listened to when I was on somebody else's channel. And I gave my hot take. Here we go. My hot take on the Rings of Power. Okay. So first and foremost, I like to put it out. Yeah. I would like to... Do you see all this that we have drawn so far, madam? Not only that, we worked really hard to write this word right here. So I'm going to need you back off and stay in your lane, okay? You know that on this channel, this art channel, this drawing stream, the rules are we are mean to each other and we don't draw. So the fact that I've already done a whole bunch of drawing is way out, Taps fingernails. Rings of Power is real Tolkien. You are such a rage baiter. Fantastic. What's my favorite part of the Christmas season? Cookies. Christmas lights and cookies. All right. So Rings of Power. So, I think that Rings of Power is fine as a generic fantasy show. I had it on in the background. I mean, I only had a couple episodes in, but I had it on in the background while I was drawing. And there are some parts about it where it's like, oh, it's not so bad, but it's not great. Well, I mean, like it's never going to be great. But as far as a generic fantasy show, it's there. I put it right up there with the like Shannara Chronicles, all this stuff. I would even see like Legend of the Seeker. Although personally, Legend of the Seeker, until it got to the second season, was better than Rings of Power. If you don't know the lore of Tolkien, Rings of Power is fine as a generic TV show, fantasy TV show. It is not special. It's just something to watch, right? That's it. Now, if I might stretch that and go even further, and people totally misunderstand me and just blow it out of proportion, they just don't. I was on somebody's show and I was saying how Rings of Power reminds me. Okay, so listen carefully of what I'm going to say. Okay. Does anybody remember Hercules and Xena Warrior Princess from the 90s? Okay. I'm going to put this out here. Great shows. We loved them. They're iconic. They're legendary. I say I got yelled at, but like in the comments, people were like hating on me, telling me I should be stopped. I shouldn't be listened to and all this stuff for what I'm about to say right now. Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules with Kevin Sorbo are fantastic shows, right? Especially like we remember them from the past, 90s, top tier, all this kind of stuff. Rings of Power. Like Hercules was made in what year? How old is Hercules? Hang on. This show was made in 1995. So we're like off of the cusp of the turn of the decade, okay? 1995. We all remember the graphics, the acting, the music, okay, from these shows. For that time, phenomenal, was great. We loved it. It was new technology. It was advancement in entertainment. Loved it, okay, for 1995. Rings of Power is Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules quality in 2025. That is my problem. And everybody was thinking that I was saying that Rings of Power is as good as Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules. That's not what I'm saying, per se. Again, if you take the Tolkien part out of it, okay. Now, if you're going to go for Lord of the Rings, or Tolkien lore and everything, the show is abysmal, okay? It makes no sense. It's utter crap, especially when we do have to compare it to the Lord of the Rings franchise films from Peter Jackson. Utter rubbish. If I look at it as just a show, a generic fantasy show, and not because there's some people that enjoy it because they don't know the lore of Tolkien, okay? So that's the viewpoint that I'm looking at. It bothers me that one of the most, if not the most expensive shows to ever have been put into production has the quality level of Xena Warrior Princess from 1995. Okay, this is like, what, over 30 years ago or thereabouts? So Xena Warrior Princess was top-notch for its time. We were all enamored by it. And honestly, we still are because we're amazed at the quality they were able to produce in 1995. If it is 2025 and you're still producing Xena Warrior Princess quality with the budget of Elon Musk, that is where my problem lies. That is where, disappointed, 100%. We're all disappointed in this Rings of Power show. You have the opportunity to do something amazing. You have all the lore. Now I know that when you start doing the research, you find out that they didn't have access to all of the elements in order to create a accurate show. So they cherry picked because they were just overwhelmed with the idea and they were just obsessed with creating something. if you don't have access to the entire thing, then there's no point in cherry picking to create something when you know it's not going to do well. And then you throw all that money at it. For some reason on my end, this video has 777 dislikes. That would be awesome if that were the case. So this is what this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. And it cost over 500 million. What is it per episode? Because wasn't that like $1 billion budget that they had for the entire first season or whatever? That is stupid. Okay. So that was where people didn't understand. They were just upset because they thought that I was comparing Rings of Power to Xena Warrior Princess, which I was, but they could not they could not separate what I was saying. They just put a blanket over it and just said Rings of Power or Xena Warrior This is how they looked at it. Xena Warrior Princess is just as good as Rings of Power, and everybody hates Rings of Power. So how dare you crap on Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules? Totally missing what the point of my conversation was. I'm not saying Xena Warrior Princess was as good as Rings of Power. I am saying Rings of Power is as good as Xena Warrior Princess. Like if Rings of Power would have come out in 1995, pretty sure everybody would have gobbled it up. Because there were a lot of franchise. Because Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules, they don't follow mythological lore either. It's a creative liberty for those shows. Hercules was so abstract in the storytelling compared to the lore and the legends that we have, but nobody cared because it was fun. It was a fun adventure. It was something different. We'd never seen anything like that on TV before. So had Rings of Power come out in 1995, pretty sure many of us would have gobbled it up. You're always going to have your diehards that were never going to agree with the lore change. And totally understandable. But, back in 1995, this would have been pure gold and would have gotten people interested in the books, right? But the fact that it's made in 2025 and all of your geeks have come out the closet and are very, very hard critics when it comes to lore, especially after having Lord of the Rings franchise and The Hobbit, disappointed, and it's just stupid and it's an atrocity. So that is my hot take on Rings of Power. It's a compelling argument, I believe, but some people understood what I was trying to say because they have brains and they could rub two brain cells together and not just blanket statement everything that I was saying. They actually were willing to listen to what I was trying to say versus me just saying, oh, Rings of Power is great. That's all they heard. All they heard was that Rings of Power is just as good as Xena Warrior Princess. But anyway. They canned Tom Shippey. They wanted generic slop. They paid all that money for that name. See, they put their money in the wrong place. Like I was saying last night, a friend of mine watched Rings of Power and liked it, but he knows nothing about Lord of the Rings or Tolkien. 100%. And a lot of us, at least for me, I would think in my generation, I wouldn't have known anything really about Lord of the Rings had it not been for the movies, because that made me want to read the books, right? So, like I said, had Rings of Power come out in 1995, it would have compelled people to read the books, find out what the real franchise was, and then we would just been like, oh, well, it's like a side adventure, just like Hercules and like Xena, where they're taking creative liberties. And we probably would have been fine. What? All right. Can somebody ban Justin? Rings of Power coming out in 1995 also would have avoided a comparisons. Yes. You cannot, the arrogance with which these people had thinking they could create something that would have been able to compete or side skirt along Lord of the Rings is just, it's just so arrogant, so disrespectful. Oh, Lucy Lawless. She was amazing. Talk about a thick girl boss. Back when we didn't care about girl bosses and it was okay to be a girl boss. Yeah, that's why you don't see people crapping on the Lord of the Rings cartoons. Hey, Cavatino, good morning. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of fantasy. So if Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter came out when I was an adult, I don't know if I would have liked it. I love fantasy and you're wrong. No, yeah. So everybody's got their niche. Everybody's got their genre. So if Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter came out when I was an adult, I don't know if I would have liked it. That is true too. That's the other thing too. Like, I think age makes a difference. Although I didn't watch Harry Potter until I was in my 20s. And I fell in love with the franchise. So, but I'm a fantasy gal. Always have been. Well, welcome in. All right. So these are not equal. Like neither of these eyes, like the eyeballs, they're not. Okay, so we're going to go back in here and we're going to just have to recreate these. I do have some more stuff that I got to get taken care of today after the stream, but okay, well, I didn't really complete the eye, but hopefully I'll be able to binge watch The Stranger Things today again and before maybe the golf stream, so that way I can get a lot more pages done, because I did that last week and I was able to get 7 pages sketched out. And that felt really, really good. It felt really good. All right. Something like that. Okay, thank you for your hot take. You're welcome. Xena had enough relevant. Xena was great, man. I don't want them to remake it. Like, I need these people to stop with this nonsense about remaking Stargate SG-1. It is perfect the way it is. Stop it. Like, I could legitimately get upset. Like, really get upset with these people. These look, I love what you love and all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, I disagree, and I think you're stupid if you think. I hope nobody in my chat feels this way. I think you are foolish. Let me just water it down a little bit. I think you are foolish, and not in a good way. Like, we supposed to be living like a fool, so that we don't die like a fool. But this a foolish nonsense take that we need to remake Stargate SG-1 is nonsense. Let it go. Stop it. You know it's going to be full of all kinds of new age crap that we don't need, that's going to take away from the beauty and the elegance of the show. If it's already a perfect show, why do we need to remake it? People are just so flooded full of this idea that we need to have upgraded graphics in order for something to be good. Nonsense. Absolute pure utter garbage and rubbish. Stop it. Stop it. Stargate SG-1 is a perfect TV show that does not need to have special glam, green screen, animatronics, or whatnot to be a good show. The story was good. The actors were good. Everything about that show is perfectly fine. You do not need to make a remake of this show. There's no reason. There is absolutely no reason, except that people are just so enamored by glitz and glam now that we feel like an upgrade would somehow make it better. An upgrade in visuals, an upgrade in costumes would somehow make it better. It doesn't. It doesn't. We have seen that tried and proven. Just because something looks pretty does not make it better. Okay? If there's no heart, if there's no quality, then it's not better. It just looks nice. Just looks nice. That's it. Stop it. I need somebody to stop. These fans out here are like, oh, when the Stargate SG-1 remake, we can't wait. Stop it. You just need to sit down and zip your lip, bud. All right, I need to calm down. Exactly. Stop it. Get some help. Just stop. Thanks, Justin, for coming in. Since 1995, Zeitgeist was different then. The internet was launched 1991 for the masses back then, and social media was exactly. Everybody thinks that they know better. They don't. They're just enamored by pretty lights and fancy fabric and all of that. If you guys would actually see the way costumes look without all special lighting or whatever like that, they're not that great. Okay, they're not that great. Look, I've seen the pictures of the Legend of Zelda behind the scenes pictures. They look great. But when you look really closely at their clothing, there's nothing necessarily all that fancy about it. Okay. But it's all about the lighting and everything like that that makes it look great. So just stop it with like this idea that we need to have like Under Armour quality clothing and all this kind of crap and just, you know, light trails everywhere. Just stop. Just stop. Fantasy can be awesome. It's the goofy language and quests and information dumps that, if handled poorly, it just gives me a headache. Oh, it's the same thing with the Wheel of Time. Don't even get me started on the Wheel of Time. We don't have time for the Wheel of Time, for the Wheel of Crap. Okay. Tabitha, who is your favorite character in Stranger Things? That's a tough one. Bob, but he's no longer with us. My favorite character, I really, really like 11. I find Millie Bobby Brown to be a phenomenal actress, especially at such a young age. I really like 11's character, and I really like Joyce Byers, the mom. I would say out of everybody in the show, because there's so many good ones. I love Dustin. Okay, Dustin, how could I not? I love Dustin. Nancy gets on my nerves. But she's still a good character. But I it's hard for me to say who's my top favorite, but I would say out of those three, or out of everybody, the cast, those three are my favorite. Dustin, Joyce, and 11. Yeah, exactly. This is the whole reason. It's like that's the other thing too. We're tired of remakes. Make something new. Stargate, what is it called? Universe or whatever it was called, the third series didn't do well, and it had all the new upgraded fancy what-wants. It didn't have a good story, from what I was told. I watched the first episode and was disgusted and just never watched it again. And I've talked to many Stargate fans, and they were saying the same thing, where it's like the show was kind of good, but they pushed the envelope and tried to make it for more mature audiences, and it just took you out of Stargate. Same thing that they're doing with Star Wars. They're trying to make it for these weirdos and perverts out here, in my opinion. And you don't need all that stuff for a good story. It's not necessary. It is not necessary. And so we just forget that good stories exist, and we just want to make it with pretty lights. We put somebody with a big name in there, and suddenly we know we have a number one hit. No, you don't. You don't. Stop it. What? Bob S. Urunk? What? Was that his name? Sean Austin played him in Stranger Things season 2. Rest in peace, Bob. Jessica Alba is still in great shape. We deserved a third season of Dark Angel. Yes, there were 4 books. I have no idea about Dark Angel. If I write something original, would you buy into it? It depends on the quality of the story. Then yes. That's why indie productions and all this kind of stuff, that's why you see a lot of people on YouTube making fan films, and they're doing a great job. And they get quite a bit of attention. And we're like, more of this, please. Because it's so good. So yeah. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Bob's your uncle? Is that what you're talking about? But yeah, if you write something original, would you buy into it? Why do you think people like me exist? Like, I'm making little stories here. You've got people like Young Ripa and Drunk 3PO and the Critical Drinker all creating their own stuff. We're hungry for new stories. You think I'm just stopping with the Canadian Bear? No. This is my first stop. Like, this is my first journey, and I want it. But you don't understand. Like, I need to post a picture of all of the stuff that I want to create, that I have been working on for the past 13 years. How old am I? Something like that. Past 13 years. Making and creating my own worlds, my own characters, their backgrounds, their hair color, legends, lore, myth, creation, powers, if it's in a fantasy genre. That hopefully will see the light of day one day. But yeah, 100%. I love seeing independent companies and independent stories and things like that, and supporting that 100%. All right. So we'll do the eyes later. Let's see if we can figure out this here. 100% Spider Unlimited. Why? Are you working on something? In fact, this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having an independent creator on the channel for the art party here. So I got to create that. But yeah, somebody wrote a children's book, and self-published, and we're going to be having an art party that's kind of surrounding the book so that people can get to know it, but also think it'd be a really fun art challenge. And we're going to have a whole bunch of artists like Sevi, Dr. Rachel, Smooth the DJ is going to be there. Lots of other people are going to be there. And we're going to be showcasing this book. So yeah, I want to support independent creators, you know, and see what they're doing with their selves, their lives. Last, Escape the Backrooms Together created great comic strip material. There's always great material. It's about the time. I just don't always have the time, and not every idea is great. Like it, you know, for stuff, unless I'm getting paid to come up with the ideas, to take the time to sit down and come up with the ideas and make them a cohesive piece is rather difficult, because you have to try to simplify something. So I've explained this before, but it's even like this picture here that I did of Moss, Sevi, Nomi, and myself. This is not exactly how the story happened in real time. Nomi was not with Sevi and I in the room when this conversation was being had. She was in some other room at the time. And so, you know, I had to think about this, like, how am I going to relay the story? The whole point of this story was that the girls were not with Moss, and we had left Moss to face his doom out there in the world by himself, alone and afraid. And Sevi was just nonchalant and totally fine about it. So I had to, how do I take this moment that took maybe was like a 7-minute story process and turn it into a 2-panel picture? That takes a lot of work. And it's the same thing with this one with Joe and I over here when we're playing Split Fiction. This didn't happen exactly as it's drawn out here in the game. And again, it was like a 4-minute, like, long interval. But how do I convey that thought into this one is a 4-panel story to really convey the message, the joke, the humor, which, by the way, this is like personally one of my absolute favorites. I want to get it printed out, put it on my wall. I love this one. The fact that Joe said she laughed out loud when she saw this picture lets me know that I did the job. I did the job well. And then there's just some stories where it's like, you just kind of have to know. If you know, you know. These two are somewhat self-described. This one takes a little more effort for people to understand. This one's a little bit more of an inside joke. It doesn't necessarily convey a lot, except for the fact there's 2 people that are floating in the water that seem to be dead. And then you have, you know, the character in the middle, my character, that is rowing for her life, and she looks very nervous and panicked. And then there's Sevi, who is just like, onward, and she has all the confidence of Superman, you know. And so it doesn't really say much, and without having the video. But the other one, so it takes a lot of thought. It's a long process. And so sometimes I have ideas, but if they don't fully flesh themselves out, and it's just going to take way too much work, and I'm not quite as passionate about it as I am with some projects. Like there was one I was going to do of Mando, Sevi, and myself when we were playing Sea of Thieves, and I really wanted to make it, but at the same time I couldn't quite piece out how to simplify it, and so I kind of lost the passion for it. Like I said, it's different if I'm getting paid for it, then there's a stronger incentive and somebody else is giving me a little bit more help instead of just me relying on myself for it. So it's just kind of different. Moss remembered that. That's right. And he took that personally. Moss needs to get a restraining order against his ex. She was very handsy. Yeah, Hangela. It would be kind of fun to do a chibi version of Hangela, but we'll see how that goes. If you ever decide to do a book of all your drawings, I would definitely like to buy it. You know, I've often wondered, like, I mean, I'm kind of interested in that. You know, I see a lot of other people that do that. Would people really want to see like my sketches and my finished artwork? And, you know, I am pretty proud of how far I've come. And I'm excited to see where I'm going to go. I think 2026, I'm not going to say it's my year. I think 2025, I don't want to say that's my year either, but it definitely helped you know, deciding to try these comic thingies really gave me the boost that I needed to attempt the impossible, actually just to attempt my dreams. And so that's why I tell people, like, it's kind of funny, but you just never know. Let's see, is this the head? It is. All right. You just never know where it's going to take you. I tell people my story all the time. I originally wanted to be like a professional. Let me start over again. I tell people all the time, my dream was to be a professional fine art portrait painter, like oil paintings. And so I started that journey and I love that journey. But at the same time, it's just not where I needed to be. At least for right now. My dream was always to be able to illustrate my own I'm trying to draw and think of this. I'm not happy with these ears. My dream was to always draw or paint or illustrate in some fashion the characters and the book covers for the stories that I always wanted to write. Because my goal was to be a painter. I wanted to be able to do old-fashioned type styles of artwork. And I was just adamant about doing it traditionally, old-fashioned. But then I discovered digital art and I found that you can somewhat translate old-fashioned fine art into the digital realm. I just haven't really acquired that yet. But then it took me outside of my comfort zone to start doing chibis. I was never really into chibis. And then here we are making chibis all the time, trying to draw a story with chibi characters and doing little art comic strip thingies. And it's just funny where life it will take you. You just never know where life will take you. You got to be willing to go outside the comfort zone and try new things. And you don't know. You just don't know where it's going to take you. And I'm excited. Now, if I could just figure out how to do this freaking ear, it's not the right shape. You'd be surprised how particular artists are about their shape because it makes a difference. It makes a difference. I think the other problem is that, like, maybe it's just, I don't know. Is that it? I don't know. I got to look at the other references. Dreaming Tabitha sketchbook compilation for $35.95 hardcover and $25. Only 5 easy payments of $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Some restrictions apply. All right, let me see here. Let's go back. I need to look at these ears. What am I doing wrong? These ears are cute. Oh, so maybe it's like, so it's basically like at the points of his hair. Let me zoom out a little bit and maybe I need to do it like this. And then we'll have to, yeah, that's better, I think. And these are just the rough sketches. You know, everything will get cleaned up and refined later on. But maybe I just need to leave it this way. I think his hoodie kind of needs to be adjusted as well. This one's a little bit rougher. But I think that's pretty cute. I know we don't get a lot of drawing here on the brush hour, but this is part of the process. But look, we're coming right along. We've got quite a few pages taken care of, and the little guy collecting some acorns and whatnot. And our little owl friend, he's super excited as well. And then, of course, our little squirrely squirrel. Super adorbs. But I have to get going, guys. I've got lots of stuff I need to do. Work comes second around these here parts. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out here during the brush hour, listening to Hot Take Tuesday. You guys are amazing. I love that you participate. If you want to participate even more, you can join me over on Patreon, where we have art chats open 24/7. You know, you can help yourself out. There's the Artist Alley, where if you're an aspiring artist or you're just an old artist like me and you want to get some encouragement on your artwork, it is a judgment-free zone. You can hop on over to the Artist Alley. It's for free. And you can just hang out with some artists. No judgment unless asked for. No critiques unless asked for. And then if you want to join the lowest tier level for only $2 a month, you can get access to Makeover Mondays. And you can post whenever you want to in Makeover Mondays. It's just that I won't be live in the chat until Monday, 30 minutes after the stream ends. So there you go. But anyway, am I playing games tonight? Yes. So I don't know what time it is. I'm going to assume between the hours of 7:30 and 8:30, maybe 8 o'clock. I don't know. Moss, do you know what time we're supposed to be playing tonight? We are doing Golf with Your Friends, Mies. And it's going to be another great time. I'm looking forward to it. I always do. Exactly. Anticipation for the putt-putt golf. Do you guys call it putt-putt or do you call it mini golf? I called it... we called it, like, when I was in North Carolina, it was called putt-putt. I mean, I know it's mini golf, but everybody called it putt-putt. And then I've moved here to Florida, and apparently they don't call it putt-putt down here. It's mini golf. So, Well, don't listen to Nomi and you'll be on time. 100%. 100%. You guys understand that she told me 7:30, and then I get a text from Sevi at 7 o'clock saying, oh, we're going to start now. And she didn't tell, and Nomi didn't tell Sevi about what time she had said. This is why Sevi's in charge. Excuse you, Justin. Okay. All of North Carolina disagrees with you. Okay. Between 6 and 7 Central Time, depending on what time Nomi gets in, I assume. No, we do not hinge. I'm done with that. We do not hinge our time and our playing on Nomi. We don't do it. Okay, I'm going to throw this up here. We don't wait for Nomi. Nomi will either join us or she doesn't. Okay? And Moss, I have a bone to pick with you. You know that she chose a man over me yesterday? Couples therapy. The reason Nomi and my relationship is falling apart. Right here. This turtle face. Right here. Anyway. Justin, just go to work and pay taxes, okay? I hope you live in a state with a higher tax bracket, okay? No. It is not y'all have lousy communications with each other. It is Narmi. Narmi changes her mind and she forgets things. So she could tell me that we're meeting at 7:30 and then forget. Okay? We the people, like Smoo and I, half German, we don't forget. We're always on time, and we sweat if we're late. We apologize if we're even 5 minutes late, and everybody laughs at us. Everybody laughs at us, thinks that we're too strict and that we need to loosen up and we're too high strung. No. You'll be grateful. You'll be grateful. You know what? It is not y'all. It is Narmi. What can I say? You could say, Nomi, I thought you had prior obligations that you had told Tabitha months ago that you were going to, have integrity about. But no. She was like, oh, but Moss needed me. Moss needed a female and blah, blah, blah. Moss is an independent man who don't need no woman, okay? Just saying. Feel like she's just belittling you to some extent, Moss, and you just fell right into her trap. Fell right into her trap. Like a fool. Oh wow.
I died.
Well,
guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat, Nomi.
How did you die?
Because she went in the water like a fool, What do you think the rowboat was for? Wait. Nomi, did you do it for the science?
I was trying to go get some ice cream.
You could have redeemed yourself and said, guys, I did it for the science, and I would have respected you. But since you did it for ice cream, I can't respect that.
I was going to bring this up.
I'm still not for the science.
Row your boat
gently down the stream.
Down the stream.
Man, this thing turned.
Merrily, merrily, merrily.